Today is 14th of April 2023. Today we are going to talk about the mindfulness. Some yogis may not understand the word mindfulness. We can say awareness, attentiveness to the presently arising object. So today we are going to talk about how we can generate and develop that mindfulness, that awareness, that attentiveness to the presently arising object, whether it is the rising and falling, whether it is the thinking thoughts, mental objects, whether bodily sensations or mental sensations, whether the movements of the legs or whether the objects of daily activities. So we will discuss about it. To develop mindfulness, to develop awareness to the presently arising object, two factors are needed, or two factors are the crucial factors we have to generate, we have to develop in order to develop the mindfulness. Without these two factors, we cannot develop mindfulness, or let's say it is impossible to develop mindfulness. And if no mindfulness, then no concentration, and no concentration, then no wisdom. So what are the two factors which are crucial in our practice? They are, number one, energy, that we call in Pali mostly viriya, and the second is vitakka in Pali, that is aiming mind, directing mind. So there are many synonyms of the energy. We can say effort also, we can say exertion also, courage also, force also. There are many synonyms of the energy, but we have to understand what is the energy, how it functions in our practice, how we develop, how we generate that energy during the practice. So, to observe the presently arising object, we have to force our mind, or we have to push our mind, or we have to propel our mind, or in easy word, we have to send our mind towards the object. That is the energy, the propelling mind, the propelling force. That is the energy. We have to push our mind to get close to the object. For example, when we are about to observe the rising and falling, we have to propel, we have to send our mind towards the abdomen. We should not let our mind to go somewhere. We should force our mind, we should push our mind to go towards the abdomen. Similarly, if we are about to observe the movements of the legs, we have to propel our mind, we have to push our mind, we have to send our mind towards the movements of the leg. That is the energy. But the energy alone is not enough, not effective not enough to develop the mindfulness or awareness. Another factor is needed, that is aiming factor. We have to aim the object. If we are about to observe the rising and falling, we have to aim the rising and falling or abdomen. We should not aim any other part of the body, because we are about to observe the movements of the abdomen. So where we have to aim our mind is where the abdomen is located, situated. At that place, at that location, we have to aim our mind. Similarly, when we are about to observe the movements of the leg, we have to aim our mind where the movements is taking place. So in this way we have to direct our mind, we have to aim our mind where the object is taking place. I believe that yogis are not yet understood, not yet convinced about the energy and the aiming factor. To understand, here is an example. You might have seen the playing dart game. In dart game there is a dart board, and there are the small missiles or the small arrows to throw the center of the dartboard. So to hit the center of the dartboard, we have to aim. Without aiming, it is impossible to hit the center of the dartboard. And aiming to the center of the dartboard alone cannot be effective, alone cannot be supportive. We have to use energy in our hand to throw the missile, to throw the arrow. Then only the arrow will approach to the dartboard or to the center of the dartboard. So, aiming is also needed, and the energy is also needed to hit the center of the dartboard. So, when playing this dart game, just imagine if we just aim but not applying energy. Can the missile hit the center of the dartboard? Cannot. Similarly, in another hand, we are just applying energy without aiming. It also cannot hit the center of the dartboard. So both factors are needed. Aiming is also needed, and energy is also needed. If those two factors are present, then we can hit the center of the dartboard. Again, the energy should be enough. The energy that we are applying, if not enough, then the missile that we threw can't approach to the dartboard. It will fall down on the way. So enough energy is again needed when we throw the missile. So this example, playing dart game, yogis may not be familiar. So I have another example, that is playing marble. You might have seen the marble, children playing the marble. So to hit another marble, we have to aim. Without aiming, we cannot hit the next marble, another marble. And aiming alone cannot hit the next marble. We have to apply energy, and we have to throw, or we have to propel the marble which is on our hand. So only when these two factors, aiming, energy, are present, then our marble hits the another marble. So again here, aiming alone cannot hit the next marble. Without aiming, applying energy alone cannot hit the next marble. We have to aim and we have to apply the energy. And the energy again must be enough energy. If the energy is not sufficient, it will not approach to the next marble, it will fall on the way. So enough energy is needed. Similarly, when we are about to observe the rising and falling, or some yogis are observing the in-breath and the out-breath. So anyhow, when we are about to observe the object, whether it is rising and falling, let's say for now rising and falling, we have to aim. Our mind must be directed to the abdomen, not elsewhere, but to the abdomen we have to aim. And again, aiming alone is not enough to develop the mindfulness, awareness. We have to apply the energy. We have to propel the mind. We have to send the mind towards the abdomen. And again, energy must be enough. If energy is not sufficient, not enough, then mind is not approaching to the abdomen or rising and falling. If we are lacking any of these two factors, then we cannot even see the rising and falling of the abdomen, not clearly. So in order to see the rising and falling process clearly, then after, in order to see the natures or the characteristics involving in rising and falling, we have to aim accurately and we have to apply energy sufficiently. Similarly, when we observe mental objects like thinking, thoughts, planning, imagination, daydreaming, etc., again we have to apply, we have to do same thing. We have to aim, we have to apply energy in order to develop mindfulness to the mental object. Again, when we are about to observe the physical sensation, again we have to aim our mind where the pain or the unpleasant sensation or sensation is arising. We have to aim that spot, that location. Then we have to apply energy to get close to that sensation. Yesterday I mentioned to penetrate into the sensation, we have to apply energy. Same with the movements of the legs. When we are about to observe the movements of the leg, we have to aim and we have to apply energy. Then only the mindfulness develops, awareness develops to the movements of the leg. Then only we will see different sensations involving in movements of the legs. So again, if it is the object of the daily activities, again we have to aim and apply energy. In this way, whatever object we observe, we are about to observe, in order to develop awareness or mindfulness towards that presently arising object, we have to aim and we have to apply the energy. So that is why these two factors are the crucial factors, important factors in order to develop the awareness and mindfulness. Without these two factors, we cannot develop the mindfulness. So every moment, each and every moment, yogi must be generating, producing or manufacturing these two factors. Let's say when you observe rising, you have to aim and apply energy. To observe falling, again you have to aim and apply energy. To observe next rising, next falling, next rising, next falling. Again, need to applying the energy and accurate aiming. The energy that we are applying in order to observe the presently arising object is called in Pali Arambha Dhatu, or initial energy or launching energy. There are three levels of energy that yogi must be endowed, or yogi must possess in order to be a genuine meditator, in order to be a genuine practitioner. There are three levels of energy. The first one is that we have just mentioned, Arambha Dhatu, initial energy or launching energy. The second one is Nikkama Dhatu, that is boosting up energy or lifting up energy. The third one is Parakama Dhatu, culminating energy, with which goal is reached. So in this way, there are three levels of energy we need in order to be a genuine meditator practitioner. So Arambha Dhatu, initial energy, and simply we can say starting energy, the beginning of the energy, the beginning part of the energy. We can categorize again this Arambha Dhatu in two parts. When we started to generate this Arambha Dhatu, initial energy, is when we left our home to practice, to come to meditation center and to practice. So leaving behind the worldly happiness or the sense pleasure and coming to the center in order to practice meditation is also about the energy. That is also the initial energy, starting energy. Because energy in Pali is defined as the braveness or the mental factor of the heroic person who is dare enough to face the difficulties, problems, like a frontline fighter in battlefield. Frontline fighters are brave enough to face the enemies, even dare enough to sacrifice their life. So braveness is there. That braveness is called also energy. So that's why yogis who are here practicing meditation are brave enough to leave the worldly happiness, the unassured happiness. Worldly happiness or the sense pleasure are the unassured happiness, no guarantee. We left behind and we came here to gain the assured or guaranteed happiness, genuine happiness. So to do so, we have to be brave enough. Simply lazy people cannot do that. Who are lazy, they cannot come to meditation center and can't practice the meditation. Going to meditation center and practicing meditation is not easy task. You do know that when you go to meditation center, you have to sacrifice many things. Like there are many restrictions, cannot look here and there, cannot move quickly, cannot talk, cannot use the mobile, no social medias, nothing. Foods are limited, sleeping is limited, everything is limited. So you do know that before you come, you do know that, oh, if I go to meditation center, there are many restrictions and I have to follow. Everything is limited, you do know that. But still, you are ready to face, you are brave enough to face those difficulties, those things. So braveness is there. That is why leaving behind the worldly happiness, leaving behind the family affairs, jobs, education, everything, business, and coming to the center in order to gain the mental happiness is also the launching energy or initial energy. This is only the first part of the initial energy. The second part is more important, and that is after arriving the meditation center, having instruction to observe the presently arising object. The energy that we apply is the main part of the initial energy, or the second part of the initial energy. Every time to observe the presently arising object, the energy that we are applying is also the initial energy or launching energy. The second energy is Nikkama Dhatu, that is boosting up or lifting up energy. That is needed when practicing meditation. We have to face many difficulties, many obstacles, especially the unpleasant sensations, no doubt, we have to face. And when we face the unpleasant sensation, let's say while sitting meditation, after a while unpleasant sensation arise. Before that we were observing the rising and falling. And while observing rising and falling, pain arise. Then pain become very strong, very tough. At that time, mind is about to give up. Mind is about to withdraw or to back up, to step back. So at that time, we need another level of the energy that is called boosting up energy or uplifting energy. At that time, initial energy is not enough. Initial energy cannot be sufficient to overcome that difficulty. We need boosting up energy. The example is given. So imagine a very old house, dilapidated old house, which is about to collapse. Even the small gust of wind can take it down. But when we prop it up with 2x4, then the house continue to stand, having the support of 2x4. Before that, the house is about to collapse, about to fall down. But having the support of 2x4, the house continue to stand. Similarly, while having pain, tough pain, mind is about to give up. Mind is saying, oh, change the posture, please change the posture. Body is demanding. Body is asking yogis to change the postures, to shift the posture. At a time, we need the uplifting energy, supportive energy, in order to not to change, in order to not to shift, like 2x4. If we apply the supportive energy, uplifting energy, boosting energy, then we can continue our practice without shifting, without moving, or without changing the posture, like the dilapidated house continues without falling down. And yesterday we have already talked how to deal with the pain, and the ways that we mentioned yesterday is ways to develop the boosting of energy, the uplifting energy. By that energy we can deal with the unpleasant sensation, or we can beat the unpleasant sensation, and we can overcome the unpleasant sensation. Means we don't need to change the posture, we don't need to shift, we don't need to move our legs. Without moving, without shifting, we can continue our practice. If yogis keep applying the boosting of energy again and again, especially when facing the unpleasant sensation, in nearest future, yogis become able to challenge the unpleasant sensation. Like, come on, get me. Because as I mentioned yesterday, the confidence develops. Now you can dare enough to face the unpleasant sensation. At the beginning, you are afraid to face the unpleasant sensation. But by the development of the boosting of energy, you beat the unpleasant sensation, you overcome the unpleasant sensation, you can win the unpleasant sensation. And when yogis do again and again, now yogis become brave enough to challenge the unpleasant sensation. Like, come on, get me, means no more afraid of unpleasant sensation. And when yogis become able to challenge the unpleasant sensation, at that time, not being able to challenge the unpleasant sensation alone, but the unpleasant sensation become friendly. Yesterday we mentioned at the beginning, we behave like an enemy to unpleasant sensation or pain we hate, but slowly you will cherish, you will enjoy absorbing the unpleasant sensation. Because yogis come to realize the benefits of absorbing the unpleasant sensations. Means yogis will welcome the unpleasant sensation. And in future, the time will come when the yogis miss the unpleasant sensation. So that's why what we need to do is we have to keep applying the second energy, that is boosting up, lifting up energy. Not only to face the unpleasant sensation, at times boredom is there. While practicing meditation, mind become bored, feeling bored, boredom is there. To overcome the boredom also, laziness is there. To overcome laziness, due to boredom, due to laziness, there are the mind which wants to quit, the meditation retreat, which might be thinking, oh, how to quit the center, how to go back home, how to go to how to ask the meditation teacher to go back to home. So might be thinking many things because of the laziness and boredom. So in order to overcome this boredom, laziness or any other difficulties, the boosting of energy is needed. So without boosting up energy, we cannot continue or we cannot progress in meditation. So this is also the second energy needed in order to be a genuine meditator or genuine practitioner. The third energy is Parakama Dhatu, a culminating energy. So there are many levels to cross in meditation to get the goal. Many steps are there we have to climb up. So to climb up each step of the meditation level of the meditation, we need the culminating energy with which goal is reached. Means the energy that we keep applying until we get the goal, until we get the destination. That is Parakama Dhatu. Of course, our ultimate goal is to attain the Nibbana and to be free from all kind of suffering. That is our ultimate or the highest goal. We all have that goal, and before attaining that goal, we may have at least to be like a Sotapanna in this very life, stream winner, or some yogis may have at least to develop the insight into the rising and falling that we call in Pali Udayabhaya Jnana. Some yogis might have the intention to develop the knowledge, insight into dissolution, Bhanga Jnana. Some might have the Sankharupekha Jnana. So in this way, different yogis might have different destination, minimum destination. So until we get that, we have to keep practicing. We should not stop. So the continuous energy that we keep applying until we get the destination is called culminating energy. In this way, there are three levels of energy. I repeat, the first one is Arambha Dhatu, initial energy. Second is Nikkama Dhatu, boosting up energy or uplifting energy. And third is Parakama Dhatu, culminating energy. And yogis must be endowed with these three levels of energy. The immediate benefit that we can enjoy having the energy is, the function of the energy is closing or shutting down the entrance of unwholesomeness and opening or admitting the wholesome mind and mentalities in our mind stream. So means energy does not admit the unwholesome mind and mentalities and only admits, it opens the entrance of the wholesome mind and mentalities, shutting down the entrance of unwholesomeness, opening the entrance of wholesomeness. That is the function, or that is the immediate benefits that we can enjoy having energy. So that is why in the text, the energy is again categorized in 4 levels. And every moment yogis are applying these 4 levels of energy. Knowingly, unknowingly, yogis are generating, yogis are developing these 4 levels of energy. That is, number 1 is energy to not to arise the unwholesomeness which has not risen. So this is the first energy. That is what we are trying. We are not giving chance to arise or generate the unwholesomeness which has not risen yet. So you may not be understood about, you may not understand about the unwholesomeness which has not arisen. Like, for example, there is a yogi sitting nearby you, and while you are sitting, he or she is making some noise, intentionally or unintentionally. You are sitting, you are focusing, you are trying to observe the meditative object. When you hear the sound, anger is about to arise. Oh, what a fellow yogi. And he or she does not have any consideration. Can't see, I'm meditating. So this is the anger, not arisen before. Not arisen before. Anger in the past, many anger has already risen, but the typical anger to that fellow yogis has not risen. So if we are generating energy to be mindful, that anger has no chance to arise. So that is called the energy that we apply in order to not to arise the unwholesomeness which has not risen yet. Maybe another example, when you are about to have the lunch in the buffet, you don't see the food that you like, or you see the food that you don't like. At that time also anger is about to arise if we are not mindful. So that is also the typical anger related to that food. So regarding that food, so this anger is also has not arisen before regarding that object, regarding that food. So that is also the unwholesomeness which has not arisen. But if we are mindful, no chance to arise that anger. So by applying energy and by trying to be mindful, we are not giving chance to arise the unwholesomeness which has not arisen yet. Means we are not giving chance to arise the unwholesome mind or mentalities. In case unwholesome mind or mentality arises, then what we do, we note immediately. Anger as anger, greed as greed, proud as proud, boredom as boredom, laziness as laziness, and we dispel by noting. That is the second attempt, that is the second energy, that is called energy which dispels the unwholesomeness which has already arisen. And the third level of energy is, the third one is the energy to generate or to manufacture the wholesomeness which has not risen yet. For example, mindfulness has not risen before. Concentration has not risen before. the wisdom, the moral fear, moral shame, they have not risen before. So by practicing meditation, by applying energy, we are trying to generate, we are trying to manufacture those wholesomeness which haven't arisen yet. So that is the third energy we are applying. Every time when we note presently arising object, new mindfulness is developing. Each second, new mindfulness. And when mindfulness gets stronger, concentration develops. So each second, new concentration is developing. And when concentration deepens, automatically wisdom develops. So every second, new wisdom develops. So each and every second, we are trying our best in order to develop the wholesome which has not risen. And the fourth energy we are applying is the energy in order to cultivate, in order to develop, in order to fulfill, or in order to accomplish the wholesomeness which has already arisen. Let's say yesterday we practiced some sati, mindfulness, concentration already arisen. So in order to not to slacken, in order to not to drop down, we are trying our best. So we are cultivating. We are cultivating that mindfulness, we are cultivating that concentration. So we are cultivating, we are developing also until the concentration, wisdom become accomplished or fulfilled. That is also what we are trying each and every moment. So in this way, our energy is categorized in 4 levels according to its function. It is functioning, it is doing its job to not to arise the unwholesomeness which has not arisen. It is functioning to dispel, to destroy the unwholesomeness which already risen. It is functioning to develop, generate, manufacture the wholesomeness which has not arisen. And it is functioning to cultivate, to develop, to fulfill the wholesome which has already risen. So this is what yogis are doing each and every moment when yogis are trying to observe the presently arising object. Intentionally, you don't need to do this 4 function. 4 jobs. Energy does by itself. You just need to observe the presently arising object. With sufficient energy, if you are observing the presently arising object, then the energy does its job. In this way, each and every second we are benefiting a lot. There are many benefits. Knowingly, unknowingly, we are enjoying. So lots to talk about the benefits, about the energy, having energy, and about to talk about the sati, mindfulness, its benefits. So we will continue tomorrow. So today, by applying enough energy, by applying the aiming, accurate aiming mind, may you able to develop the mindfulness. By presence of mindfulness, may you able to clean your energy, clean your mind, and by having the 3 levels of energy, may you be able to get your destination as possible as soon.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.